After a short and strong disagreement between us and all the cursing and screaming that came along with it, we decided to take the corpse and store it in the freezer. Back to bed. I couldn't bat an eye. As if all the mess wasn't enough, the next morning we made up a story to convince the other elders that the deceased man had gone out for a walk. And so we stayed, with a plan that wasn't really a plan. That was actually just an arm wrestling with what was stronger than us, and was inevitable. A thing from which I didn't escape in time because I was still waiting to see what it would turn out to be. Well, a nursing home, 10 graybeards on the brink of death and 3 slow interns making slow decisions. What couldn't possibly go wrong? In the evening, we went to dinner. The seniors were enjoying their usual jokes, with 1 or 2 new ones to be exact, and it seemed to be a night like any other. Typical one in that place. One of the elders, Little Ralph, is terrible in relationships. He's a true psychopath. Little Ralph is an angel and old Greg is not. That's facts. Old Greg, an angel? May. Only if it's a fallen one. I know that I don't need gruesome impressions to make friends. Expressing displeasure, Little Ralph showed his tongue to old Greg. Little Ralph. Bella likes Lil Ralph more than Belle likes Greg. That's facts. And hug Belle. Old Greg. That's because she doesn't know what she's missing on all this. Old Greg passed his finger through his chest before kissing its tip like it was hot. Belle. Hey! No insults and no innuendos, Mr. Greg. You, Little Ralph, is an angel indeed, okay? I love all your impressions. In response to Belle's praise, Little Ralph changed his face sudden and completely, showing a whole different side of his personality. Little Ralph. Do you know where I buried the bodies? In the garden. Old Greg. There. I told you so, didn't I? Keep your mental disorders to yourself, you moron. Without saying another word, Mr. Greg picked up his plate and got to his feet, looking for another place to sit. Old woman. Respect me, Simon. A chicken leg was tossed from one corner of the table to the other, hitting another old woman square in the face. Another old woman. Marilyn. You missed the target again, Marilyn. Old Marilyn. My God. I'm so sorry, Helen darling. I meant to get Simon, for he keeps calling me a whore. Old Simon. Now she's not just a whore, she lost her damn aim. But that's one more to your vast lost aims collection. Haven't been aiming nobody with those tits a long time ago. Vandross. Christ. Me. Whoa, Mr. Simon. Respect Mrs. Marilyn, for God's sake. Old Simon. And who respects me in this house? Old Marilyn. You're the one who insists in disrespecting me in front of everybody. You piece of sh. Me. Whoa. What is going on here? Old Helen. Nothing, my child. It's like they're arguing, but that's just the way they talk to each other. Wait a bit and you'll see. Old Marilyn. What? Are you jealous? Old Helen. Me? Old man. What would my beautiful good friend envy in a loser like you, Marilyn? Old Marilyn. Is it not obvious, Buddy Carlos? My sex life. Old Simon. Okay now. That's true. Old Helen. Yeah, just not as true as your Viagra overdose last week, right, Simon? I don't think so. Vandross. Madonna. Old Marilyn. Despite its drawbacks, ours is still a better life than yours, Helen. Old Helen. What you call a sex life is nothing close to the glory of my days, dear Marilyn. Buddy Carlos and the Mellows, who've known me for so long, can speak for me. Old Marilyn. Who, Gloria? Another sad gamer. Well, unlike you, she finds a little happiness every 10 to 10 years. Vandross. St. Joseph. Old Mellow. Where did you get that from, Marilyn? Old Marilyn. Who doesn't know that, Old Mellow? Old Gloria. Please leave me and my husband alone. We have nothing to do with your tawdry conversations. Old Marilyn. See that? Just talk about sex and everybody gets mad around here. Old Mellow. We prefer to talk about the things we've built in this life. What we have achieved, how much we've grown. Old Marilyn. Oh. Don't tell me. Old Helen. Yeah, don't, Old Mellow. Is there a point in explaining to her what can't be done under the sheets? Vandross. Oh, please stop. I'm running out of saints to invoke. Ha ha ha. Me. Enough. Everyone straight to bed now. And no desserts, so you think about the very bad behavior you had today. Little Ralph. But little Ralph didn't do nothing. Me. Now he's getting it doubled for complaining. Everybody straight to bed now. Finally the day had come to an end. I was leaning against my pillow after that night's physiotherapy round when, suddenly, I heard hurried footsteps passing through the door. Realizing that my colleagues were deep in their sleep, I decided to pursue the matter by myself. I walked up the stairs to the third floor when a door that was half open at the end of the hall prevented me from going up to the attic. With light footsteps I made my way to that door, peered through the opening, and witnessed Mrs. Marilyn and Mr. Simon in the middle of the room. Naked. Performing the 69. I could swear last time I checked, they could barely walk. So clearly it was hard to believe to my eyes at that moment. With a single scream, I shook every pillar in that asylum and took off, at bullet speed. Vandross. You crazy? Halfway back to my room, I came across a crowd of sleepy onlookers. Not knowing how to describe the situation, I stared at them blankly, suddenly different from the hysterical guy running 1,000 miles an hour, seconds ago. Me. Nothing. Vandross. You crazy. Belle. Come on, Michael. What scared you like that? Should we be scared too? Me. It depends on the perspective. Old Greg. Should we or shouldn't we, boy? Me. No? Yeah? Vandross. Everybody back to bed, come on. I hope nobody died from an heart attack trying to be a little original or something. Old Greg. What? Vandross. To bed, Mr. Greg. All of you. Straight to bed. The sun was up. It was time for breakfast. All the elders in the asylum sat at the table except for Mrs. Marilyn and Mr. Simon. Me myself, that wasn't crazy enough to take the risk of seeing what I had seen the night before once again, preferred to let Vandross go get them. 10 minutes later Vandross came back alone, sat by the table and ate normally, in silence. Even though I thought such reaction was kinda weird, I just did the same. Sitting down by the table, I ate my breakfast peacefully, to its last bit. After the meal, we were leading the graybeards to the garden for sunbathing when Belle and I were suddenly dragged up to the third floor. Without saying a single word, Vandross pointed to Mrs. Marilyn's room. indicating that we should get in. As we entered that room, we found Mr. Simon and Mrs. Marilyn lying on the bed, intertwined with each other. From the color-drained look of their bodies, it was clear that death had made us a visit, yet again. Desperate, we got down the stairs in a heated conversation. In the middle of the curses and screams, such as "This is all your fault, what the heck are we gonna do now? Screw you 'cause you know you're here 'cause you wanted," and things like that, we barely saw little Ralph getting through the door silently behind us. One thing we noticed though, his face was completely distorted, miles away from the sweet idiot we were used to. With a soul-freezing cold stare, he entered the dining room after closing the door behind him. "Belle? Lil Ralph? What are you doing here? Go back to your sunbathing." "Little Ralph. I'm tired. Nobody stands a bunch of old idiots for so long." Vandross. Well well well. So little Ralph knows there's such a thing as verbs. "Little Ralph. Little Ralph? Oh. You mean the retard that possesses my body from time to time?" "Belle. What are saying, little Ralph?" "Little Ralph. I'm saying what I'm saying." Little Ralph took a cigar from his pocket, lit it with a lighter and put it to his mouth. "Me? Where did you get a cigar, little Ralph?" "Oh, forgive me. Let me introduce myself. I'm Mr. Dragon. And as Mr. Dragon, I always carry a cigar. Even that, little Ralph, knows where to keep it when he decides to take this body that doesn't belong to him." "Belle? Little Ralph, stop it. You're scaring me." "Mr. Dragon. Nobody told us you were coming. Yet you're here. That's scary. Or maybe little Ralph knew about it." Terrified, we stared at him completely mute. And out of the blue, what I feared the most had materialized right in front of me, being nuts to the point of doing things without my own consent. But that was a whole other level. He was a totally different person. The way he acted, the way he walked, the way he talked, even the way he looked, was totally different. His hair, now defined, had been parted by a comb, with the bulk of it lying on the left side of his head. I intended to ask where he'd found the gel he used on that hairstyle. But I didn't. I already had a fair share to process. Mr. Dragon's darkness eclipsed every trace of little Ralph's innocence in a way that would haunt my dreams for years to come. "Mr. Dragon. Won't you tell me who you are? It's been a while since we've had a babysitter." He sucked some smoke off his cigar. "Mr. Dragon. You barely arrived and I've already noticed things missing around here." "Me? What things?" "Mr. Dragon. What I know is that, when I looked for the heart inside my chest in that moment, it wasn't there." "Mr. Dragon. Things that you certainly know more about than I do." Silent seconds of terror followed, feeling like centuries. "Mr. Dragon. I wish I could get into your minds to uncover exactly what you're hiding. But do not worry. I'll find out eventually." My head, running miles in a second, begged me to end it once and for all, turning myself to the police. "Mr. Dragon. For now, I'll keep pretending to be blown away by the weather girl and the painkillers." After those words, he laughed. And we laughed along with him, awkwardly, clearly in discomfort and kind of relieved by what he'd just said. "Mr. Dragon. Just for now." And yet again, the horror had settled between us. The man had a mind-blowing ability to change his face from water to wine, as if he were a person in a moment, and another different person right in the next. With nothing else to say, the guy turned his back on us, went through the entrance hall all the way to the door, finally making it out back to the garden.